Everyone is thrilled about the massive 1 million token context window Anthropic just made available for models like Claude 4.6. People see that headline and immediately adopt a false equivalence. They assume that throwing vastly more space at a problem automatically yields more computing power and cleaner results. But expanding the context size does not fix a broken workflow. Sometimes it just gives a bad workflow a much larger arena to fail in. The actual breakthrough of this update is predictable pricing behavior. Feed the model 9,000 tokens or 900,000, the cost structure remains stable. You are no longer financially punished for including massive amounts of useful context. Removing that financial penalty is real progress, but true output quality rests entirely on structural discipline. A critical error is treating this massive window like a cheap storage bin. Users dump everything in: verbose logs, redundant instructions, and dead ends. Then they expect the AI to extract clean reasoning from the bottom. That is not how attention works. You have to treat the earliest part of your prompt as prime real estate. That early section is where the model is sharpest and most capable. If you pack those crucial early tokens with noise and long back and forths that should have been reset, you heavily dilute the model's attention before the real work even begins. So the baseline rule is simple. Do not treat early context like a digital junk drawer. Treat it as premium working memory, and load only the most critical information first. To properly leverage a 1 million token window, you need to shift your approach. The foundational framework is read big, execute small. The read big phase uses that massive capacity for exactly what it is built for, ingesting the entire system architecture. You load the project specs, documentation, and codebase all at once. The objective is macro comprehension. You let the model spot patterns across disparate parts and build a cohesive mental map of how everything connects. Once the AI understands the system, you execute a counterintuitive pivot step. You kill the massive session immediately. Then you move to the execute small phase. You take that structural understanding, break the project down into specific feature groups, and open a completely fresh, targeted session for each individual task. By separating the reading phase from the execution phase, you stop trying to scale a casual conversation, and you begin successfully scaling a professional workflow. Running one massive, continuous session feels highly efficient at first, but usually by the third or fourth consecutive task, the quality of the output quietly begins to slip. The model starts missing obvious dependencies. It arbitrarily changes established coding patterns, and suddenly it begins hallucinating references that do not belong anywhere in the project. What you are seeing is context decay. It is an invisible breakdown caused by compaction cycles and overlapping logic in long, sustained sessions. With the old 200,000 token limits, you could physically see the model start to rush and degrade as space ran out. The new 1 million window gives the AI much-needed breathing room, but that extra breathing room is completely neutralized if you allow it to fill up with repetitive rules, stale discussions, and unnecessary baggage from resolved tasks. The survival tactic for working memory is strict. Keep the active context lean. Move your stable, repetitive rules completely out of the core execution space. To be fair, when utilized strictly for massive information ingestion, the 1 million token limit is a genuine advantage. We are talking about the ability to load 160+ requirement documents into a single session at once. Operationally, the AI can cross-reference decisions across dozens of files on its own. You no longer have to build custom ingestion flows or stitch chunks of data together just to get a baseline reading. But here is the critical reality check. Even with all that data perfectly loaded, the model will still occasionally forget a crucial detail or overlook an embedded workflow rule. Massive context windows remove the upfront cost of inputting the data, but they do not guarantee perfect comprehension of that input. Verification remains entirely your responsibility. The AI has the data, but you must confirm it actually understood the map. So ask yourself, are you using this massive capacity to truly understand a system, or are you just using it out of laziness to avoid structuring your work? Unstructured mega sessions do not improve your output. They simply allow your errors to compound at a much larger scale. The true headline of this update is that the AI no longer punishes you for providing useful context, but you still have to design the workflow. Use big context to learn. Use small context to build. This context window acts as a high-powered intake and mapping layer. For actual execution, clean, fresh sessions will always win.